Hey, let me start off by welcoming everybody to Western Building Products. We are really excited to have you. We're excited to be able to host this event on behalf of the city. We really hope you enjoy the morning. My name is Aaron Houston. I'm the president here at Western Building Products, and personally thrilled to have you here today. You're sitting in our brand new, we used to call it brand new facility. We moved in here in 2021 after outgrowing our other facility. It was great collaboration with the city. We really appreciate your help in helping us get here. And we're sitting under 326,000 square feet. It's been a huge building for us. It's been a huge step forward for our company. It's helped us gain efficiency, it helped us gain employment, and it's really helped us establish a foundation that we can grow on in the future. We look forward to many years of growth, growing our staff, growing our company, and really building a foundation for the generations to come after us. Western Building Products started in 1946, so we're approaching 80 years at this point, and we started as Western Lumber Distributors. We were in Wauwatosa. That's where we stayed up until 3 years ago where we moved to the facility. We saw great growth in those almost 80 years, but as it happens, you start out with facilities, and facilities become dated, and it was really time to find something different. We were able to find this property. We were able to find this property, and it's been a great move for us going forward. For people that don't know what we do, we are one of the largest value-add distributors of quality millwork, doors, and windows in the Midwest. We deal in residential construction, single-family, multi-family housing, and we serve a territory that is approximately 250 miles from this location. So we cover all of Wisconsin, about half of it in Illinois, and northwest corner of Indiana. That's kind of the scope, and we hope with the power of this facility, we can grow that into the future and expand that territory as well. Millwork is what we do as a company, but it is far from how we define ourselves as a business. 1983 really starts the modern history of Western Building Products. That's when the two gentlemen that owned the company at the time, Bill Nicholson and George Lorenz, they were motivated by a desire to do more for people, to do better than just running a business. And they decided to turn Western Building Products over to the employees. It became an employee-owned company, 100% employee-owned in 1983, and that really is the modern history of Western Building Products. They did it out of a desire to do good for the people that were involved in the company. They did it out of a desire to do good for the community that they were in. ESOPs were new at the time. Laws around ESOPs really only came into existence in the late 70s. So we were very early on. Bill and George were very early on this wagon of turning companies into employee-owned companies. We are one of the oldest around, and I would argue with anybody that we've been one of the most successful at taking that concept and applying it to our employee owners in this facility. The mission of Western Building Products is very simple. It was the same in 1983 as it is today. If you were able to come through our front lobby, you saw it on the wall. If you exit that way, please take a moment and look at it. The philosophy is to make a difference. That's very simple and very easy to repeat, but we want to make a difference in 5 specific ways. They are to provide a civil workplace in an increasingly uncivil world, to provide a sense of community in an increasingly individualistic society, to challenge people to grow and contribute and reject entitlement, to provide job security when job insecurity has become the norm, and to provide well-paying jobs despite the widening gap between high and low-income families. Those are the ideals set in 1983 when we decided, well, not we, when Bill and George decided to become an ESOP. I would make the argument to anybody that those ideals are probably more prevalent today than they have ever been. And so we carry that banner forward. We posted it on the wall. It's central to who we are as a company. Easy to say, hey, that sounds great, but what are the results? Like, what does that actually mean? Well, over the 40 years that we have been an employee-owned company, our employee owners have averaged a 23% contribution to their ESOP accounts every year. So whatever they make in wages, they've made an additional 23% through the employee ownership vessel that is in place. In real dollars, thank you. In real dollars, Western has distributed $72 million to our employee owners over 40 years. That $72 million in a normal company, that's what the owners get. In our company, it's what Bill and George would have gotten if they hadn't decided to take this company on a different path. We also have an incentive program. Because we're employee-owned, we share 100% of the profits in one of a variety of ways. The incentive program is another one. Over 40 years, we have given out $21 million additional dollars through that incentive program to all of the employee owners of this company, 100% of them. We believe employee ownership works. We believe employee ownership helps make a difference in our community, and we believe it helps make a difference in the lives of the people that come to work here at Western Building Products. We believe it's a great vessel to address some of the societal issues that we face today, and we are proud anytime we get to talk about it to do so. So thank you for the opportunity to do it today. My time is up. They told me I had 5 minutes, and for people that know me, that is almost unheard of for me to stop in 5 minutes. But I'm going to do my best here. I might be a minute or two over. But thank you for the opportunity to get up here this morning and tell you a little bit about Western and the employee ownership concept that we adhere to. We are passionate about it, and if we do get a chance to speak about it, we really want to do it. If anybody has further questions or would like more information on employee ownership, how it works here at Western Building Products, please reach out to us. We're easy to find. Contact us, and we are happy to share our story with anybody that wants to hear it. I'll wrap up with that, and it's an honor for me to turn this over to the next speaker. People are a lot more polished at this than I am. The alderman of our 5th district, Mr. Lamont Westmoreland.
Good morning. It's my great pleasure to welcome all of you to Milwaukee's 5th District. And with all due respect to some of my colleagues out there, this is the best district in the city. My district stretches along the western border of our city from Center Street on the south, Bradley on the north. All across this area, you'll find neighborhoods full of residents who care about their community, they talk about their children's future, they care about their safety, and they'll be quick to call if their trash is missed or they roll over a pothole that they don't like. My district is home to lots of good businesses such as Western Building Products. And there are many distinctive elements in this area. We have an airport, we have an auto mall, we have a college. There's even the 5th District parcel that's located in Waukesha County. Most of all, we have hardworking people who truly are the lifeblood of Milwaukee. It's an honor to represent these residents at City Hall. In my work on the Public Safety and Health Committee, the Public Works Committee, and on the Redevelopment Authority, I see it all, from problems to progress and the promise of Milwaukee. Milwaukee has a bright future, an opportunity to grow and to shine. And this area, my district, will be a part of the city's future. In just a moment, we will hear from Mayor Cavalier Johnson. And to introduce him, please help me welcome Chairperson of the Redevelopment Authority of the City of Milwaukee and the resident of this great district, Frances Hardrick.
Thank you, Alderman Westmoreland. One thing that is for certain is change. We have gathered this morning in the interest of our city. Surely cities change. They adapt, and develop through the best of times and the worst of times. When challenging issues arise, resilient cities successfully address those issues. Today's State of the City Address offers an opportunity to both reflect on where we are and receive perspective on where we are headed. Progressive development is one of the foundations of a city's stability. The Redevelopment Authority of the City of Milwaukee, or RACM, uses multiple avenues to promote job creation, environmental sustainability, and stronger neighborhoods. In my dozen years of service as a board commissioner, I, along with my fellow commissioners, and in partnership with local leaders and my city development staff, have seen many projects move forward, contributing to significant positive impact on our city. Projects that have added to the city's economy and revived properties that were dormant and lifeless. Projects like Western Building Products, which I distinctly remember approving a few years ago. I served on RACM with Alderman Johnson at that time. We both have roots in the 53206 zip code in Milwaukee. He being born there, and I growing up in our family home there. As I learned more about him, it began to resonate in my spirit. He is from the heart of our city, and he has a heart for our city. With that in mind, it is my honor, my pleasure, and my privilege to introduce the mayor of the city of Milwaukee, my friend, the Honorable Cavalier Johnson.
Thank you so much for that incredible welcome. Francis, thank you so much. Lamont, thank you so much. Please get up as well for the Milwaukee Police Band. Give them all a round of applause. And a very special thank you to all the owners, the employee owners here at Western Building Products. Thank you all so much. This company is bringing on new employees, expanding its customer numbers, and it's growing in Milwaukee. And that's certainly something to celebrate. Several years ago, when Western Building Products expressed an interest in this location for a new home, the city of Milwaukee worked with company leaders in order to make it happen. We jumped at the opportunity to support job growth, to increase the city's tax base, and to bring this long underutilized city-owned property to life. With tax incremental financing, we made an investment to help bring water and sewer service to the site. There was little risk to taxpayers and good benefits for the entire city. Local small businesses, city residents who were unemployed or underemployed, they worked on the project. Tax incremental district number 99 is paying off quickly, and in the not too distant future, this building will add to our total tax base, which is good for everyone. Good for everyone. See, I'm a huge proponent of growth. I call the effort Growing Milwaukee. I want our city to attract new jobs and new residents. I want Milwaukee's story of innovation and opportunity to be known across the country. I want to add to the great attributes of our city and continue to increase our vibrancy here in Milwaukee. I've set an ambitious goal to grow our population to 1 million Milwaukeeans. 1 million. That's going to take some time, but my administration is laying the groundwork. We already have a welcoming spirit and a tradition of newcomers who choose to build their future here. Now the Planning Division at the Department of City Development is developing growing MKE proposals. They'll propose amendments to the city's comprehensive plan with a focus on housing choice and growth. We can encourage more walkable neighborhoods and increase the variety of housing choices. We can reduce barriers to new development and, at the same time, make progress on our sustainability and affordability goals. There's more to grow in our city, though, than land use and housing plans. We must be sure to provide the municipal services Milwaukee needs. And we took an enormous step forward less than 9 months ago when we worked in a bipartisan way and got bipartisan support from the state legislature and Governor Tony Evers. Wisconsin Act 12 has provided some financial stability to city budgets with sustainable revenue. Now, to be clear, Milwaukee is not suddenly flush with cash. We have tight budgets now and into the future. But what we have done is avoid the fiscal disaster that was looming over City Hall. Another important legislative achievement occurred just 3 months ago when the future of our Major League Baseball team was secured for decades with a revised stadium funding bill. The Brewers will remain the Milwaukee Brewers for at least a quarter century and beyond. That's good news. The City of Milwaukee's obligation in the stadium funding arrangement will be met without a new tax and without cutting services to city residents. Now, that took some imagination and creativity, redirecting administrative fees already collected locally. What we accomplish here is great for residents and taxpayers, sustaining the attention and enjoyment professional sports brings our city. High school, college, professional sports, they add a lot to our quality of life. We can applaud and celebrate the success of our sports teams, and this year there's been plenty to cheer about, particularly on the basketball court at Fiserv Forum. Now, how about that Marquette Golden Eagles men's basketball team? And to boot, our Milwaukee Bucks are solidly positioned for a championship run. That's great. But speaking of the Bucks, we all lost an iconic Milwaukee public figure at the end of December. Herb Kohl single-handedly kept the team in Milwaukee by buying the team in the mid-1980s. And again about 10 years ago when he sold the team to new owners. But that was hardly his only major accomplishment. Herb was a business leader and a well-respected United States senator. He was also a great philanthropist, and throughout his life, he showed consistent humility. Herb was truly a big shot, but he never acted like one. Herb was a great Milwaukeean. Thank you, Senator Herb Kohl. There are lots of reasons to be proud of the state of our city. Investors are investing, employers are hiring, and more businesses are choosing to locate right here in Milwaukee. Employment numbers are strong, and that means jobs, particularly family-supporting jobs, are available. And that's good news all across the city. Construction is underway on big projects and smaller projects. At 60th and Green Tree Road, housing for veterans in tiny homes is moving forward. In the center of the city, large residential towers are nearing completion. Across the street from Vel Phillips Plaza, Fiserv has finished its headquarters build-out. Starting today, employees from this Fortune 500 company are moving in. The company has deep roots in the region, and it's been an active participant in civic life. And its technologies touch us all as it moves money for businesses as well as consumers. At 11 o'clock this morning, I will join Fiserv leaders as we cut the ribbon to formally open the global headquarters of Fiserv. Traditionally, the city of Milwaukee has participated in significant projects that add jobs, improve public amenities, and address pressing social needs. We've used tools that contribute financially, and we've accomplished changes or accommodated changes to our zoning when those make sense to do. It's an approach that, quite frankly, hasn't changed very much over the past several decades. But over the past several months, I have directed city departments to take a new look at the work we do to foster development. I'm pleased to share that we're adding to our toolbox and imagining what's possible, because it's all a part of growing Milwaukee. I want to highlight one area of our economy where we have great growth potential. That's our convention center, the Baird Center, which is doubling in size. Later this spring, we'll celebrate the expansion and the work Milwaukee residents and small businesses have done to bring the project to completion. We're launching a new era of our city's hospitality and tourism industry. The Baird Center is projected to attract an additional 100,000 out-of-state visitors to Milwaukee each year. What that means? I'll tell you what it means. It means more jobs and more economic impact for city residents. With the expanded convention capacity, we are affirming the economic impact and really the bright future of our travel and hospitality sector. Visit Milwaukee has been a great leader in attracting people to our city. The organization works to project the best of Milwaukee, and they're about to roll out a new, rejuvenated brand. More than just a new logo, Visit Milwaukee is focusing on what sets Milwaukee apart. We are fresh, we are flavor, we are forward. It's a celebration of who we are, a celebration of our diversity, and it's an invitation to come to Milwaukee. There's a great story to tell about Milwaukee, and I'm set to be our city's most vocal promoter. Milwaukee is ready. Milwaukee's ready to host big trade shows, large membership organizations, and huge sports and entertainment extravaganzas. I want Milwaukee to be a destination for people from all over. We'll see some of those new visitors in July when the Republican National Convention comes to Milwaukee. Tens of thousands of people, delegates, media, and others, they'll be here. They'll spend money and bring attention to Milwaukee in a way that I anticipate will bring more big events to Milwaukee in the future. But to be crystal clear, I support neither the GOP party platform nor its leading candidate. But I very much embrace the positive economic impact the Republican National Convention will bring Milwaukee. Our hotels, they'll be full. Our restaurants will serve a lot of out-of-towners and hard-working hospitality workers, our fellow Milwaukeeans. They'll take home some extra money. In preparation for July's political convention, we're planning and prioritizing safety. Multiple city agencies, including our police and fire departments, they're working and making sure we have the resources and the people they need to manage any eventuality. We're seeking $75 million in federal money to fully fund our safety plans. And just yesterday, Senator Tammy Baldwin informed me of a major step forward when that funding was included in pending legislation. I encourage Congress to finalize that safety money. We're working closely with event organizers and with the United States Secret Service so that everyone's safe. We're also making sure that demonstrators have an opportunity to voice their opinions the way the First Amendment empowers them to do. I've got no higher priority than making sure Milwaukee is as safe as possible, and not just for big events, but in every day and in every neighborhood. Citywide crime trends, they continue to improve. What the FBI calls Part 1 crime was down 9% last year compared to the previous year. That built on the 22 decline of 15%. That's good news for Milwaukee. It's good news for Milwaukee. We're seeing, yes, it is good news. And we're seeing continuing positive trends too. 2 months into 2024, we're seeing even more crime reductions when compared to this time last year. most Part 1 categories of crime are down by double-digit percentages. And also non-fatal shootings and carjackings are both down by 25% this year. We're a safer city, and we continue to head in the right direction. But this is about much more than numbers, because crime hurts our residents, hurts our neighborhoods, and it hurts our economy. And I want everyone to feel safe and for crime to be rare. I want fewer victims of property crime, fewer victims of violent crime. That's why I focus so much of my attention on increasing safety. While there are a lot of factors that go into making Milwaukee safer, our work fundamentally comes down to two approaches: accountability and prevention. We must make sure that people who commit crimes are identified and brought to justice. The consequences should be appropriate and they should be timely. We're adding police officers and working with prosecutors and courts to make sure that accountability is achieved. At the same time, we're working with young people so they make better choices in their lives. We've reorganized our crime prevention and intervention team into the Office of Community Wellness and Safety to increase outreach and effectiveness. And we're building a stronger economy so that young people see positive opportunity ahead. But more must be done to get guns out of the hands of people who shouldn't have them. Sometimes it's a felon who illegally brandishes a handgun. Sometimes it's a teenager who uses a firearm to settle a dispute. Or it's a young child who grabs a parent's unsecured weapon and kills. None of these people should touch a firearm. And state and federal legislators must do more to protect people from gun violence. See, if we're to grow Milwaukee in the way that I envision, we must be safe. And people must feel safe, whether it's in their neighborhoods, at their workplaces, or whether they're out enjoying all Milwaukee has to offer. We must continue to drive down crime and drive down violence. But public safety encompasses much more than crime reduction. I've directed departments throughout city government to act to reduce the scourge of reckless driving. The police are enforcing laws. Various agencies are involved in driver education, and most prominently, we're reconfiguring our roadways. In 2024, 45 traffic calming projects will be underway all across the city. We're restricting the ability to pass on the right with lane narrowing, and we're making it safer for pedestrians to cross the street. And we're adding protected bike lanes. We've assembled multiple funding sources for traffic safety projects, notably American Rescue Plan Act funding. You'll see those funds deployed this year in projects such as the Safe Routes to School program, making it safer for students at 18 different schools. And I'm grateful to President Joe Biden and his administration for those resources here in Milwaukee. Thank you, President Biden. Look, traffic calming, it works. It works. It reduces reckless driving, and that's more than just conjecture. We have the numbers to show it. In Milwaukee, we are a Vision Zero city, aiming for 0 traffic deaths. It's another ambitious objective, but one which we enthusiastically embrace. There are multiple other ways in which the city is improving safety. Over the past 14 months, the Milwaukee Fire Department reopened not one but 2 previously shuttered firehouses. And we've launched a new dispatch technology so that people needing emergency service can get the best response as promptly as possible. Our greatest public safety champions are the people of Milwaukee, you. When the good people in Milwaukee step up, good things happen. We team up with groups of residents who organize as part of our Alert Neighbor program for specially tailored public safety improvements. We work to make sure homes have life-saving smoke detectors. We're improving relationships so that our police get the best possible cooperation in solving crime. As I've said frequently, everyone can play a role in making Milwaukee safer. The Milwaukee Health Department continues its work to protect children from the damaging legacy of lead paint in our city. The department is actively broadening its collaborations, partnering with hospital systems to expand childhood lead screening. And the health department is working with Children's Wisconsin to improve lead case management. The department is reducing lead hazards in homes with a $5.7 million federal grant, an effort that will make hundreds of Milwaukee homes safer. Using American Rescue Plan Act funds in partnership with community stakeholders, another 400 homes will have lead hazards abated over the next 2 years. Great news. In addressing lead, one of the most significant challenges over the past year is our acceleration of replacing lead service lines that bring drinking water into homes. Last year, I announced a shortened timeline for replacing lead laterals. Now, with new federal resources, we're aiming to replace all the city's lead service lines in the next 10 years. And not just that, we've made it easier for city residents too by eliminating the cost to qualifying homeowners. We've prioritized lead service line replacement in neighborhoods that have the greatest need. We're inviting affected residents to local meetings when work is planned in their neighborhoods. And the city is adding transparency with a new website. That's milwaukee.gov/lead pipes, where people can track the lead pipe replacement work and get good information about precautions. Let's talk about libraries. I believe in libraries. Yes, I do. I believe that libraries play a critical role in the lives of people all across Milwaukee, improving literacy and learning and providing resources that are not available elsewhere. So yes, I believe in the city's continued investment in a strong and connected library network. And you can see the framework rising on the Milwaukee Public Library's new Martin Luther King branch at the corner of Locust and MLK. The redevelopment there is targeted for completion early next year. That's when library users will see a new 18,000 square foot facility with flexible use community rooms, a makerspace, improved access to technology, new furnishings, and an updated and refreshed presentation of library materials and resources. And it'll be amongst the greenest libraries in the entire state of Wisconsin, with geothermal heating and cooling along with solar panels. It's going to be exciting. The project also, in a way, is part of Grow on Milwaukee. The MLK Library project includes 93 affordable housing units, whose construction is supported with city tax incremental funds, along with housing trust funds, totaling nearly $2.5 million. We're investing in affordable housing, often with tax incremental financing, and sometimes with other funds. In fact, over the past 5 years, the city has played a significant financial role in at least 19 projects, creating nearly 1,800 new, affordable Milwaukee homes. I want to highlight another city effort that's creating homes for families in Milwaukee. Homes MKE brings $15 million in American Rescue Plan Act funds to convert city-owned, tax-foreclosed properties into fully rehabilitated new residences. Now, this is big and this is good in 3 different ways. First, we're returning troubled properties to new ownership and productive use. Second, we're easing the costly burden foreclosed properties impose on city budgets. And third, we're using Homes MKE to help emerging developers and construction teams to establish themselves. By the time that Homes MKE is complete, about 120 homes will be back in private hands, back on the tax rolls, and once again, they will be places for Milwaukee families to make their home. It's another step forward in growing Milwaukee. The Housing Authority of the City of Milwaukee. It's a major provider of homes for residents here. Thousands and thousands of people rely on it. The authority has faced some very real challenges over the past several years, navigating the pandemic and managing through very significant budget challenges. I'm keeping a close eye on the agency and staying in touch with the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development as the Housing Authority addresses the problems. But they're headed in the right direction, and I have confidence in the agency's leadership. City government is moving forward on a program I first talked about last fall, Raise and Revive. Now, Raise and Revive aims to tackle neighborhood blight by taking down houses that are beyond repair. We're investing nearly $5 million this year, deploying both city and private crews to raise 180 problem structures. And so far, dozens of buildings have come down. I've directed city departments to prioritize the Revive portion of Raise and Revive, because I want more than vacant lots. I want neighborhood assets instead, because no one willingly accepts a dilapidated house on their block. No one does that. No one should have to endure the potential dangers and criminal activity drawn to buildings that are simply beyond repair. Following the housing crisis that began more than a decade ago, Milwaukee faced a growing number of homes needing demolition. Raise and Revive aims to get rid of that backlog in the coming years. Speaking of demolition, we've made progress in our work to eliminate a major blight and significant danger that has plagued a neighborhood not terribly far from where we are now. The former Northridge Mall is finally owned and controlled by the city of Milwaukee. Finally. We're securing the location with the intent to stop the trespassing and vandalism. And we're proceeding with bringing the structure down and clearing the site. I am exceedingly grateful to Governor Tony Evers, who has directed significant American Rescue Plan Act money towards the Northridge demolition. Thank you, Governor Evers. As we develop plans for the future of Northridge, we acknowledge the great potential that exists here. What was a danger is now an asset. What was a drain on the area is now an opportunity. We'll work with neighbors, area businesses, and others interested in Northridge's future to map out what's next. At my direction, city government is working hard to increase sustainability efforts. We all have an obligation to act responsibly, reduce our climate impacts, and invest in our future. The Environmental Collaboration Office is actively implementing the city's climate and equity plan with transportation improvements, building upgrades, and increased carbon-friendly electricity. We also look to a future with more green jobs for our families and neighborhoods that benefit the most. Here's an example of one sustainability project. Milwaukee's Department of Public Works has made significant progress on our Bright Line street lighting project. We're converting older, less efficient street lights with LED lights, reducing energy use and increasing public safety with illumination. Most street lights can be modified this way, some 45,000 lights, and we've already converted more than 70% of those lights. For street lights that run on antiquated circuits, we continue to work on upgrades. Good lighting. It improves the pedestrian experience, makes stroller pushing and scooter riding and bicycling more appealing. And there's more work underway to diversify our transportation options here in this city. We're making great progress with the effort to add 50 miles of bikeways and protected bike lanes all over Milwaukee. I want Milwaukee to be celebrated for its bike friendliness. I want everyone to have transportation options and choices that are both convenient as well as climate friendly. Yes, public transportation is a big part of that. I see the Milwaukee County executive here, and Milwaukee County's bus system is a great choice for so many people in our city. Milwaukee Streetcar, the HOP, is used daily by hundreds of people, and it's promoting investment and attracting new residents all along the route. Innovative approaches, such as FlexRide, are connecting Milwaukee residents directly to jobs where public transportation is not a convenient choice. Using on-call vans, FlexRide makes our connections for availability to get to work easier for residents of the city. In fact, there are FlexRide users who work right here at Western Building Products. Several elected city officials have chosen not to seek re-election this spring. I want to acknowledge the work that they have done, and I want to call out two in particular. Aisha Sawa. Aisha served the city for almost 14 years, the past 4 as our comptroller. Aisha has performed admirably in that role, and I wish her the best in her next endeavor. Aisha, thank you. Please stand. Thank you, Aisha. Michael Murphy. Michael Murphy has served his West Side constituents longer than any of his aldermanic colleagues, about 35 years. In that time, Michael has taken on complex issues, seeking outcomes that improve life for people throughout Milwaukee. Housing, health, parks, crime, substance use, and disorder. Michael has been a leader in all of these areas. His legacy is a city that is better, stronger, and safer. Michael, my friend, thank you. In 2024, the state of our city is excellent. Of course, we have challenges, but I join people throughout the city to address those challenges. I am unequivocally confident that we are making solid progress. Yes, I'm a champion for growing Milwaukee, adding energy and activity to our city. I want more investment, more jobs, and more people. I want artists. I want entrepreneurs. I want intellectuals and athletes. I want investors and dreamers and hardworking people who want to shape their future here. I'm imagining what's possible for Milwaukee. We will be a city that builds on our existing culture, that adds to our economic strength, and redefines ourselves as a center of both innovation and quality of life. Milwaukee has so much in its favor, and so much in its future. Thank you so much.